If you're planning to do CMA in 2026, do not skip this video because I'm going to tell you everything that a lot of students realize only after spending so much of time and money. Right from eligibility, exams, job profiles, costs involved, and some very common mistakes that Indian students make while they're doing the CMA exams. So if you're serious about building a career in business and finance, this video could save you from learning the hard way. Now let's understand the eligibility to do your US CMA. सबसे पहले तो you can start your US CMA anytime after your class 12. यहाँ पे दो parts होती हैं. You need to do 2 exams. So typically students को anywhere between 8 to 12 months लगता है to comfortably do it. Okay? But to earn the CMA charter, you need 3 things. Number 1 is you have to obviously complete these 2 parts. 2, you have to finish your graduation. Okay? And number 3, you need 2 years of continuous work experience. अगर आपके तीनों conditions satisfy होते हैं, that is when you can earn the title of a US CMA. Now, who can do it? You can be a commerce student, you can be a science student not from a finance background. Like I know of a lot of engineers who do US CMA because they want to learn finance. You could be a working professional who wants to upgrade. So you could really be anybody. You could be a student, you could be a working professional, you could have a commerce background, you could be from a background which is not commerce, but this is one of the best ways for you to upskill and learn finance. So you could really be anybody or any of these. Now let's understand what does a CMA US certification make you an expert in. Look, when you're studying these 2 parts, you're studying papers like financial planning, performance and analytics, and strategic financial management. So basically it makes you an expert in anything around reading a balance sheet, knowing the secret behind the numbers, knowing the mysteries behind the numbers, looking at past data and being able to predict the trends, see the trends and predict the future. Lot of planning, lot of budgeting, lot of financial analysis, right? ये सब चीजों में basically आपको एक expert बनाता है. So unlike financial accounting, which is more post-mortem, which is more focused on compliance, I think the role of a CMA is more proactive. It's more focused on a lot of planning, a lot of decision making, a lot of working with data to be able to take decisions, drive profitability within an organization. So that way I think it's a very dynamic profile to look at. And usually we've seen successfully in India, a lot of CMAs get employed in roles which are in FP&A, which is financial planning and analysis departments, budgeting, pricing, procurement, internal audit, corporate finance, maybe working sometimes in the teams of the CFOs and the CEOs. So इस तरह के roles में usually CMAs को job मिलता है. Now, and in these jobs, what do the US CMA candidates typically land up earning? Now guys, that is going to be dependent on a host of things. आप कौन से कॉलेज से हो, आपका कौन सा अंडरग्रेड डिग्री है, क्या आपके पास सिर्फ CMA का क्वालिफिकेशन है कि और कोई डिग्री है, हाउ ओल्ड आर यू, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ों पे डिपेंड करता है. Of course, what are the additional skills you bring to table? So it may be difficult to give a figure, but if I have to give you a ballpark figure, assuming that you are just a graduate, assuming कि आपने CMA किया, आपके पास कोई great work experience नहीं है, मैंने generally देखा है that students then start off anywhere between 4 to 6 lakhs, depending again on the job profile in the city you are in. But once you get started onto a job, because of the kind of skill sets that you have beyond your regular graduation, you can add value, and the speed at which you grow in the organization is much, much faster. Also, I've seen that CMAs, a lot of students who do CMAs don't even take up jobs, but they go back to their family managed businesses. Yeah, so many times you have family managed businesses run by generations, and you want to get into the business, but you want to look at the business from a different lens. आप चाहते हो कि आप ये business को upscale करो, आप चाहते हो कि business में आप कोई ना कोई तरीके से technology लेके आओ, कोई innovation लेके आओ और उसको एक नए तरीके से करो. So I have seen a lot of CMA candidates also approach their business and do well. So whether you're getting into a job or whether you're getting into your family business, I've seen application in both the cases. Now let's understand a little bit about CMA exams, structure and duration. So typically, like I said, you have 2 parts to complete. Part 1 is focused on financial planning, performance and analytics, which is basically a lot of costing. So a little bit of FR, financial reporting, and a lot of costing, performance management. And part 2 is focused on strategic financial management, right? So this is completely online and the exam happens round the year. So there are windows in Jan, Feb, May, June and September, October. So there's a lot of flexibility. आप जब भी prepared हो, आप typically exam दे सकते हो. हमने जनरली देखा है कि a good time period to prepare for an exam is a minimum of 4 to 5 months. That's why, very optimally you can do the exam in 8 months, but typically between 8 to 12 months, mostly you're able to finish both the parts. And it's best picked up when you're actually graduating. So a lot of students, when they're in their first year, second year, or even in their third year, pick it up, and even before they complete their graduation, they're actually finishing off the CMA. So they're actually graduating with 2 degrees. And let us assume for a minute that you're a working professional. You are into a role that needs you to work with data, work with numbers, work with finance. Really, the best time to pick up CMA is now, because with your work, with your experience, you'll be able to probably finish this degree a lot faster. Maybe in 6 to 8 months as a working professional, you'll be able to finish this degree. Now let's look at the cost of doing the program. Well, the cost of doing the program is got 2 parts, and before I explain to you the 2 parts, let me also tell you that this is one of the most economically priced global degree in India, right? Because you can actually finish the entire degree in under 1.5 lakhs, and I'll explain to you how. So there are 2 parts to do this program. There is obviously one fees that you pay the professional body, which is IMA, Institute of Management Accountants US, and second is what you pay your course provider, for example Synthesis Learning, who's going to train you to be able to write these exams. What do you pay your professional body? So as you can see on your screens, you have an entrance fee that you need to pay. You need to pay obviously exam fee 2 times because there are 2 parts. You have a membership fee that you need to pay. Okay, so these are typically the 3 components of your fees, right? Now, there are 2 gateways. One is a student's gateway and one is a professional gateway. So if you are an undergrad or a postgrad student, then obviously they have a discounted pricing for you, as you can see. And if you are a working professional, then there is a separate pricing. Okay. Now, what you see on your screens obviously is the rack rate. So, like for example, as I speak to you, अगर आप Google पे जाके CMA के IMA के website पे जाते हो और अगर आप fees find out करते हो, तो आपको ये figures दिखेंगे. But there is a very important catch here. Now, as a course provider of IMA, as a licensed course provider of IMA, we have certain discount coupons that we can apply and bring this fees down for you substantially. Matlab, it can be as, the discounts can be as high as 35 to 40% on each of these components, which obviously makes the entire program very, very affordable for Indian students. ठीक है? Now, every component पे कितना discount आपको मिल सकता है, कैसे आपको maximum discount मिल सकता है, उसके लिए आपको क्या eligibility है, क्या documents देने हैं, बहुत simple process है, but you need to obviously call us and we'll explain how this works. इसके अलावा you need to pay your course provider obviously an amount to train you to be able to do these exams, and all in all put together, at least at Synthesis Learning, I can say we try to do this course under 1.5 lakhs. So of course, if you want a detailed breakdown of how that happens, we are here to help. Of course, if you want a detailed breakdown of what the components of costs are and what is the maximum amount of discount that you can apply, you need to reach out to us. Now let us understand the global pass rates of the US CMA exam and how difficult or easy is this exam to pass. तो ग्लोबली ऐसा कहा जाता है that the global pass rate of both the parts is anywhere between 40 to 50%, right? Now, आप इसको हाई भी बोल सकते हो और चैलेंजिंग भी बोल सकते हो. हाई पास रेट है बिकॉज 45 to 50% पास रेट का मतलब होता है 1 in 2 people will pass the exam. और चैलेंजिंग बोल सकते हो because if you're not the well prepared one, you could be the one who's not passing the exam, right? So it's really the way you look at it. But having said that, I'll tell you one experience with Indian students. ये एग्ज़ाम जो है ना, ये आसान नहीं है बिकॉज सबसे पहले तो दिस इज़ अ कंप्लीट ऑनलाइन एग्जाम. इसका जो फॉर्मेट है वही बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ मिनट टू टेल यू दैट. यहाँ पे 100 क्वेश्चंस होते हैं एग्जाम में. ओके, 100 मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस, और आपको वो 3 घंटा देते हैं. इसके लिए आपको मिनिमम 50% क्वेश्चंस राइट लाना है, तभी आपका सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ द एग्जाम खुलेगा. ठीक है, सेकेंड सेक्शन ऑफ द एग्जाम खुलेगा. एंड अगर सेकेंड सेक्शन ऑफ द एग्जाम खुलता है तो उसमें आपके पास 2 केस स्टडीज होंगी जिसके लिए आपको 1 घंटा दिया जाएगा. एंड ओवरऑल 500 मार्क्स का जो एग्जाम है उसमें से आपको 72% लाना है. येस, यू हैव टू गेट अ मिनिमम ऑफ 72%, व्हिच इज 360 मार्क्स इफ यू वांट टू पास. Now, first things first, a 72% in the exam means you don't have to survive the exam, you'll have to thrive. You can't just pass. 72 matlab you have to do well, okay? Secondly, it's an online exam, which is a different experience for Indian students. Number 3, multiple choice, as easy as it sounds, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि multiple choice in fact tougher part of the exam होता है, because या तो आपको सही मिलेगा या आपको wrong मिलेगा. You don't have a place to make up, right? So the questions are quite tricky. They really test concepts. And the second part of the exam, of course, case studies is testing articulation. So you need a mentor, you need a tutor who can exactly tell you what to do, what not to do, how differently to prepare. You need a tutor or a mentor who's also going to tell you practically चीज़ें कैसी होती है जो आपको basically textbooks में सीखने को मिल रहा है, और आपका जो एक इंडियन एग्जाम का लिखने का पढ़ने का तरीका है उससे आपको काफ़ी हद तक आगे बढ़कर ये एग्जाम को सूट करने का तैयारी चाहिए. And that is why I feel a tutor or mentor is very helpful. Now let me tell you, at Synthesis Learning, how do we make the entire experience of studying CMA a very, very enriching one for you? So सबसे पहले तो I think we have separate patches for students and working professionals, because I think both need a different approach. So of course, if you're a working professional, we start there because we understand that you go to work and there are a few things that you practically know. So the kind of interactions in the class are different. And if you're a student, obviously you have no practical experience, so the kind of interactions change. First things first. Secondly, the tutors that obviously, or the mentors that will teach you are, people who've done the CMA exam, and with that they may even have other additional qualifications like chartered accountants or ACCAs with practical work experience, so they will bring a host of stories in the classroom. Thirdly, our program is very rigorous. I think we ensure that we don't just train you in 2 months or 3 months and just let you finish the exam. No, I think it needs a lot of preparation. So it's a very rigorous power-packed program जहाँ आपको concept by concept drill किया जाता है. A lot of practice happens and we believe a lot on tests. So every week you're going to write a test like you're going to actually do it in the actual exam. And it's a 4-hour exam na guys. तो आपके पास एज अ स्टूडेंट उतना स्टैमिना ही नहीं होता है टू सिट फॉर 4 hours and do an exam. So we do a host of cluster tests for you because we really need to get you ready for that stamina that you need to sit for the 4-hour exam, right? So half an hour test, 1 hour test, 2 hour test, 3 hour test, and then eventually you get to a 4-hour mock exam if you write the final exam. So there's a very structured cluster test program in place, and that's how you get best prepared, right? So that's the whole experience at Synthesis Learning. Furthermore, another interesting thing that we do for all our students is we want to make the program very cost effective for you, and that is why we try to give you the maximum discounts that the IMA gives us, and we can pass it on to you, right? So there is an entire process to this, and your exam fee, registration fee, etc. can come down by as high as 40%, and of course once you inquire you'll know how this works. So guys, US CMA demands a lot of commitment, a lot of discipline, and the right guidance. So whether you are a student, undergrad हो या postgrad हो, or you are a working professional, और अगर आप अपना CMA journey शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं, the first thing you need to do is you need to pick up the call and speak to a counseling expert who can actually chalk out an entire plan for you and tell you how this will value add. Come, let's do that together. There are some numbers flashing on your screens. Call them, take all the details that you need for this program, and let's get started.